What's up, guys? Welcome to Season 3, Episode 2 of Trainer Talks with Trainer Dave. Joined by my second guest on Season 3, Alex Alton. Thanks for being here, Alex.
Of course.
So yeah, I thought you'd be a great guest to have. We had John, who was the owner of LVL WOD, on Season 1, and now Season 3, we got you. Wrote a couple tidbits. You're the GM and Director of Nutrition and Client Success at LVL WOD. Functional fitness coach and Air Force veteran. Anything else we need to add to that?
No, I think that about sums it up.
Awesome. Well, that's a pretty good resume right there. So kind of just diving right into your coaching background. Why did you want to become a coach?
Well, I didn't really have a want for it to start off. It's kind of a funny story. When I was in the Air Force at when I was at Beale in California, Northern California, it's just like north of Sacramento, they wanted to start a functional fitness program. And so they sent me to go get certified by CrossFit up in Oregon for like a weekend certification. And I went and did it. And then it was kind of like teaching myself outside of that. And that's just where it started. And then I just didn't want to stop.
That's awesome. How long ago was this?
I've been coaching for 9 years.
9 years. Wow, that's a long time. Long time. How many different gyms have you coached at?
5.
5. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of talk us about your experience going from gym to gym.
Yeah. So I started, of course, at that base in Beale. From there, I did 2 deployments. So I did one in UAE. I did one in Africa. So I coached at both of those.
Sweet.
And then when I got out and moved back home, I coached in Andover at EP. And then I moved over to LVL WOD.
Okay, sweet. How long were you with these gyms, roughly?
So each deployment was 6 months. I was at Beale coaching for, I think, 2 years. And then I was at EP for about 6 months. And then I've been at LVL WOD for 2.5 years.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
What certifications do you currently hold?
Currently, I hold a NETA, so CPT, Certified Personal Trainer. I'm working on NASM CPT, which that one is like crazy.
Is it?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm also working on the High Rocks coaching.
Okay, sweet. What was the first certification you got?
NETA, National Exercise Trainers Association. I got that one down at University Health and Performance in Arkansas.
Was that pretty challenging?
That one, it wasn't, only because the place that I went to, you learned on like the whiteboard, and then you went out and you learned off of hand. So like they would say, okay, you're going to teach your client to do this. Okay, now go out and teach your client to do this. And so it was really good for me because I'm very hands-on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was really, really easy for me to understand that.
You didn't have to take like a written test, did you?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, through all those certifications you hold, like, do you feel like they're applicable in your everyday grind as a coach?
That is a big question rolling around. I do, but I don't. So I do because I learned a lot, but I feel like I learned more on the floor.
Absolutely.
And in the space.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's kind of what everybody seems to say is it's you learn the most through repetitions and experience actually coaching clients as opposed to, just going through the textbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll talk about your military background. How long what was the Air Force you were in?
Yes.
How long were you in the Air Force?
11.5 years.
Wow. Okay. That's a long time.
You're telling me.
Yeah. Do you feel as if your experience in the Air Force has helped you as a coach?
I do, because I learned almost all of my coaching stuff there. Well, like the basis of it anyways. I learned a lot from John, but I learned just obviously the CrossFit certification and all of that on my deployments. I learned really outside of just coaching myself. I didn't know anything before those. And so when I was on my deployments, I was around other coaches, and they kind of like took me under their wing and showed me a lot of stuff as far as coaching goes with, warm-ups and cueing and all of that. And then when I was deployed, it was also like, okay, we want this space to be a functional fitness area. Just do with it what you will. And so it's, okay, what equipment do I need? Let's run a competition once everything's set up and all of that. So I learned a lot.
Wow.
A lot.
I bet. And you were training kind of like military people, basically.
Yeah. People that were active guard, reserve. When I was not deployed, it was also spouses. I had a lot of spouses that would take the classes as well as civilians that worked on base for deployments and out of deployments too.
Nice. So I imagine you probably got a lot of repetitions, but also you train a good variety of clientele when you do that.
Yeah. I mean, in the military itself, you have people from all different walks of life. And then especially when you're looking at deployments, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of different personalities.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm sure that really has helped kind of transfer those skills have transferred over to your current role at Level WOD, would you say?
Yeah. I think so. I learned a lot. Just my job in general for the Air Force is customer service. And so that in itself learned a lot because this career field is customer
Absolutely.
service.
Very
Yeah.
well said. So we'll talk about your journey at Level WOD. What does your current role entail?
Whew.
It seems like because you got general manager, director of nutrition, and client success. So
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. So as far as like the client success, I just make sure everybody's as happy as they can be. To kind of sum it up, I will hold meetings if people need to chat. So I make space for them. If we want to go to coffee, we can go out to coffee. I also do the rewards program is kind of what I've called it. So when someone comes in, they do their first 50 classes, they get prizes. So like your first class, your third class, your sixth class, and so forth. And so I talk them through all that. I make sure that they're happy from when they've started and just see them through their journey and on. I also am the one that has to see them if they decide this is not their space anymore. And so we do the cancellation meetings for them and nutrition as well. With that, we run nutrition challenges. And so I have to do nutrition scans, like in-body scans, and then just make sure that their program is going the way that they want and the way that it should be. And if not, kind of course correct from there. What else? I run the retail. So we recently, like we've had the Fit Aid for a while.
yes.
And now, like you tried one of the bars.
Yes, correct. Yes, those were good.
So now we have we have the protein bars, protein sticks, Element, and Fit Aid. And
Oh,
so
nice.
I stock all that, do inventory, order. Yeah, I think that covers the basis of it, and coach as well.
Nice. How many hours a week would you say you currently coach right now?
I coach 8 hours a week.
Okay, that's not too bad. And you were previously the head coach, is that right?
I was.
How long did you hold that role?
I think a year,
Okay.
maybe a little over a year.
Okay. And how many hours a week were you coaching when you were the head coach?
I think I did 28.
28, yeah.
Yeah, 28.
How's the adjustment been? I mean, do you miss being on the floor as much, or are you kind of happier in this new role?
I do miss it. I don't miss the schedule.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Like my schedule now, even when we were talking about meeting up, is like all over the place.
Right.
But I'm definitely not waking up super early every single day and going home late every single night. So I don't miss the schedule, but I really do miss being on the floor with my people and seeing
absolutely.
their PRs and getting to be even closer, being a part of their journey.
Yeah, for sure. What does your day-to-day kind of currently look like?
So on a short end of it, not a very busy day, I coach my 2 classes. I maybe have 1 or 2 nutrition meetings, and then it's just kind of catching up with admin stuff. On a busy day, Mondays are usually pretty slammed. I may go in at 5 in the morning for some nutritions for people that work out in the morning. Then I coach, more nutrition, maybe a personal training, and then coach again, staff meeting, home about 7:30.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty busy. How many coaches do you guys currently have now?
We have 8.
8, okay. And how many did you guys have when you started?
It was just John.
Wow.
And then me.
John, okay, that's right.
Oh, we had an evening. Or I mean, a weekend. We had 2 weekend part-timers.
That's right. Coach Ray.
Yeah. Coach Ray,
Tom.
Coach Tom,
Okay,
yeah.
nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because, I mean, I think it was about 2 years ago I had John on the podcast, and seeing how you guys have grown, it seems like you guys have grown pretty significant. And matter of fact, I think when I had John on the podcast, you had just recently started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see how you guys have grown over these past 2 years.
Yeah, it's been, looking back, we were even talking about it because I told him I was coming over today, and he was like, I just can't believe how much has happened.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
and if you get him talking about it, he's probably gonna be mad that I'm gonna say this, but he will start to tear up because we have
Oh,
just,
yeah.
like, come so
No,
far.
I think I've seen it too, because I think actually I took a trial class. I think you had just recently started. I remember. Then I've popped into a lot of Bring a Friend weeks, and
Almost everyone I've
yes,
had.
I think I hold the record is what I've heard. But no, it's super cool. I mean, like, yeah, I see there's like 30 people at once in your guys' gym, and almost seems like you guys are about ready to outgrow that space almost.
Yeah, some of our before the school year ended, we had, like, some really, really busy 4:30 classes with the teachers and parents trying to get it in before going home, and so that class stayed very busy. Now that it's summertime, it's leveled out, and so it's been good to see people hop around. It'll be interesting to see what hits when the school year comes.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, talk about like why did you start working at Level WOD?
So, I tell everybody John stole me. When I moved back home and I went to that University of Health Performance down in Arkansas, I got the CBT training. And I was like, where the heck am I going to go? And so I Googled gyms around town. I had originally reached out to John and he's like, I'm just not ready for another coach yet. And so I went to EP and I was there for about 6 months. I had ran a marathon. I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to actually do something else besides just run and run and run. So I worked out at Level WOD. So became a member there. They came up with a coaching development course. So I did that. And then through that, John pulled me in and he's like, okay, I want you to work here. And I didn't tell him this, but I didn't care what he was gonna offer me for
Uh-huh.
pay. I was gonna take it because I
Nice.
wanted to be mentored by him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think he told me in the podcast that you guys just work together so well because you guys are both veterans.
Yeah, it's that we know when to work hard
Yeah.
and
When to laugh and stuff
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. From a member standpoint, like what do you think makes Level WOD special?
Our community for sure. I mean, the community in the functional fitness area is on another level. But just like our people in itself, like you will see them sitting around after class, showing others how to work on skills and helping people and just like like you don't even have to ask people, hey, can you help so and so with this? It's just they are all about it. They want to see each other succeed as much as we want them to succeed. So I think that's huge. Also, like our rewards program that I talked about, that is big. That helps people get those small wins right off the bat, which you need when you're going to a different place, especially like, your motivation drops and you get a busy week and you just don't want to come in. But if you're getting that text message, it's like, hey, you earned this for your 6 classes. Like, okay, I want to go pick up this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, actually I think another thing I saw you guys did, I think right before this podcast, I opened up my phone, I saw you guys do like plaques on their
Mm-hmm.
wall about
Oh, of tape.
yeah, so I said 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we started that last year. So we have our 5-year members are gold and then our 2+ are black. So we started that wall and it's just really cool to see how many people have been with us for that long.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, I think that wall is relatively full, like
Yeah.
from what I remember.
Yeah. It's really, really neat to just look at that and then to see people get added to
Yeah, oh,
and to see
absolutely.
how excited they are about getting their plaque up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you guys do like community events where like is that once a month where you guys like will go to Chicken and Pickle or something like that or
We try to do gym outings once a month. We try as much as we can, especially like during the busy season and the school change and everything. It gets a little crazy. And so, yeah, like this weekend we're doing golf.
oh
We're
nice.
doing a golf
Sweet.
outing. Yeah, I mean, it was really cool as one of our members set that up. So we always trying to do that as well as try and integrate our members
Yeah.
into being a part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was actually we're here in the Phoenix. I was talking to Cody Palmer on my last podcast, and I feel like that's kind of what sets a great gym apart from a good one is the community. It's not people aren't just coming in for 1 hour a day. It's they come for the community, the camaraderie outside of the gym. Like I think that's what really gets people to stay for 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, we had to create a lobby out front because we would have members that would hang out for an hour after class just chit-chatting, and
Yeah.
it's like, like,
That's
go out front, chit-chat, like, we
Yeah.
love you, but
Good problems to have.
yeah,
That's
it
awesome.
really is. It
Yeah.
is.
What about from the employee standpoint? Because it seems like you guys have a, you know, it seems like you guys have decent retention with your coaches. Like, being at a gym for 2.5 years, like that's kind of rare these days. Like, what makes Level WOD great? To coach at.
Well, one that's been top of mind, and it's actually funny because John knew that starting a family is important to me. And so that was one of the things that we talked about when he brought me in. And so he does paid maternity leave,
Oh, nice!
which is
Wow,
like unheard of.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's huge. That, and we just working together, like we really are a family. Like I know a lot of people say that, but we really are. We even do coaches outings. So we do our gym outings, but we do coaches outings.
That's right. Yep.
So in that, we go every quarter somewhere and we try to remember what it's like being a client. So we put
Yes.
ourselves, and that's like you did with
That.
the bro lotties
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And so we try and put ourselves in a space that haven't been in, and we will have breakfast afterwards and chat about like, okay, what can we implement? What we liked, what we didn't like. There are things that we're missing, things that we need to get a hold of, stuff like that. But really, we just work really well together. And
Yeah.
John is really, really good about listening and keeping mind on like what we're really in need of
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
terms of like not even just the facility and growing, but also our family lives.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I think is pretty unheard of. Paid paternity leave. And if you don't mind me asking, is it salary positions coaches are on now?
So both of our full times are on salary.
Okay.
So myself and Jenna.
Nice.
And then we have our part times paid off of classes.
Yeah. No, that's still unheard of. Salary in the fitness industry is very rare.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. So what makes John a great leader / gym owner? You got to be careful. He's probably listening right now. So
Well, I think I kind of hinted to it just a minute ago. That he listens, like he's more than willing to just be like, okay, look, I need you to sit down. Let's talk about this. He'll listen, he'll write it down, and he'll really soak it in and he'll process it. So if he was in the middle of a crazy season and I was like, hey, I just need you to like just talk for a minute, he will drop everything and just talk. And I think that's huge.
yeah.
He's also very big on transparency and honesty. That in itself is big as well. I feel that that's super important.
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
being transparent in not only like who he is, what he wants, but also everything about the facility. Like any decision he has, he will talk to me and Jenna about like anything, even smallest, biggest decision.
Nice.
And I think that's huge because we feel like we're a part of it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think something that probably also helps is he has so much experience coaching, and that used to be once him, coaching 4:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. And
Yeah.
he knows what it's like to be in a not sustainable place as a coach. So the fact that he's creating that for his coaches, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, especially when I took over coaching those classes from him, because he used to run everything on his own, which is crazy.
It's insane, yeah.
So when I took that over, he would always tell me like, this is not forever. Like
Yeah.
we just need to get past this part and then we will go forward. And
Yeah.
that's what happened.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, how has John's like day-to-day changed in the last 2 years? Because I think he also used to be the one that did all the sales, and I think he said that you do all the sales now. Like he doesn't even.
I did.
Okay.
We kind of flip-flopped.
Okay.
So when he took less coaching, then he took up the sales again. Plus, we started a new tactic where he wanted to make sure from start to finish, like lead and sale, he could actually see like what was going on just with it being one person. Because beforehand, we had one of our coaches doing the leads,
Mhm.
and then I would do the sales part. And so we wanted to see just one person, how it goes. So to answer your question, when I came on, it was him doing all of that admin. I was just doing straight coaching. Now it's changed to he is completely off the floor. He doesn't coach at all anymore. And that just changed like as of 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So we have interns in the morning. Well, not interns anymore. They're part-time now. They did their 50 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Well, I guess we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And so he has more time in the mornings to spend with his kids and his wife gets to come work out now, which is awesome. And then he does sales in the evening, but he is currently, and he's going to put out an ad for this, he's looking to hire someone to do leads and sales.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
How many hours a week would you say you work with your role?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd have to do all the math. I don't know, probably just the average. Like, I'm
40?
not.
You think 40 probably?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have a crazy, I do have a crazy up and down
Right.
schedule.
Yeah, and it depends on the time of year for sure.
But yeah, and then like some days are way heavier than others. And like Wednesday, I work from home all day on Wednesday.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you guys, that's like an open gym type day, right?
Yeah, and so I do a lot of admin stuff on Wednesday, and then Saturdays I only work a couple hours in the morning.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then I just do admin at home.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, and I think when I talked with John, he was working like 50 to 60 hour weeks. Do you think that's still accurate, or do you think he's been able to kind of tone it down a little bit?
No, he's been toning it down
Nice.
a little. Yeah, especially when the twins came.
Oh, okay, that's right.
He had
Yes.
to tone it down a little bit.
So that's really cool that he's been able to. I mean, do you think the gym could probably run without him, like with you and all the coaches?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I think it should be that way. And
Absolutely.
it's not because like he's set us up to be like that.
Yeah.
Like it's all because of him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, because I don't know very many, especially like small business gyms like that. You know, there's Orange Theory and like franchises where it's common to maybe have a GM, but like, you know, small business boutique gyms, like I think it's pretty rare to have a GM and full-time coaches. So
Yeah.
that's really cool that he's been able to grow it that way.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about your coaching philosophy. We've kind of talked a little bit about this, but right now, do you mainly train one-on-ones or group classes?
I dabble in both. So I coach 2 classes a day. And so I coach the 9 and the noon. But depending on our season, I'll do more PTs. Like if we have a busy season, I'll do a lot of PTs, like 2 in a day. But if not, if it's slow, then I may not have any.
Okay. Nice. Which you like better, like the group classes, one-on-ones? Do you have a preference?
I honestly prefer group classes because I'm an extroverted introvert. Is that what it's called? Introverted extrovert?
Probably the same
Whichever one.
thing, probably.
So it takes a lot out of me to coach in general. And when I coach the one-on-ones, you're having to create more conversations and be more present.
Absolutely.
And that in itself, like
Can
I
be
have to go home and just like recharge in silence. So yeah, the one-on-ones definitely take a lot more out of me. But the group classes, again, it's part of that, like seeing everybody's success and seeing more people at one time and just getting to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. So you guys at Level WOD, you guys do the level method.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what is the level method?
So our big map, we have a lot of different colors on this map, and there's assessments on the side. It's best compared to martial arts, like the belt system. So you have your white belts, your yellow belts, all the way up to black and red. And so with that, it makes coming into the gym and trying to figure out what workout to do a lot easier. It's simplified. Because if normal functional fitness or CrossFit area, you see like, okay, I have the RX, right? I have the WOD, and then I have like maybe 1 or 2 scaled versions. Well, we have 8. Like,
nice.
I think it's 8. But now with that, it's not only less intimidating for the member, but easier on the coach because they don't have to figure out like, okay, I have to scale down this workout like 3 more times for this member. And so with that, it makes the daily workouts nice. And also we have assessments that we do twice a year. We call global assessments. And so with the global assessments, they go through and they see how they've progressed. We also hold 2 to 3 assessments every month over the focuses for that month.
Sweet. And so what's the highest color?
Red.
What color are you?
Oh. I am blue. I have not retested a lot of mine in a while, which I should. I should take my advice.
Gotcha. No, I'm sure blue is pretty good. But yeah, no, like, and I've done the Level WOD workouts, and that's what I've been to different CrossFit, functional fitness gyms. I think that's what I like about your guys' gym, and what makes it unique is you could have, somebody who really overweight in the same workout with somebody who competes in CrossFit, and that's That's really unique, and I don't see a lot of gyms that can do those kinds of things.
Yeah, and they're doing the same workout, they're done at the same time, and they feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I saw you guys just implemented High Rocks into your guys' gym, and I think are you guys, like, the only gym in Wichita right now that offers that right now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And I gotta ask, what is High Rocks? 'Cause I'm not even sure what it is yet.
So it is a fitness race or competition. So our region goes down to Dallas. So with that, it's 8 different stations with 1 kilometer runs in between each station. And so they have like singles, doubles, mixed doubles, a pro, and an open. And now with that, right now they do the same race every single time. I don't know if that's how it's going to be in the future. I don't know how long they've been around, but I didn't even know what High Rocks
Yeah.
was until the last year, until John went and did it last year.
Nice.
That's the only reason why I knew anything about it.
Okay. So it is like a competitive race,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's it. You said it takes place in Dallas?
yes. Well, our region does, yeah.
Okay. Are you guys bringing a team down there to compete?
We are. We have a lot of people from our gym that are going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
a
That's cool.
lot of
I think I
people.
saw it's you guys, what, Saturday at 8 AM?
Yeah, so every Saturday at 8 AM, we hold High Rocks training. It's an hour-and-a-half class. So the workout itself runs about an hour.
Okay.
And so, like, the other half hour, of course, is set up and brief and just making sure everybody's ready to go. But with that, it's based off of the actual race. And so Jenna programs that. She does a great job at that. We bought new equipment for that as well. We bought I was talking about the sleds.
Yep.
Yeah, so we bought 2 different types of sleds, one that we have outside and one's inside. And then we run those every Saturday at 8 AM.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Do you have a cool success story from a client that sticks out to you that you can share?
Yeah, I have a lot of them, but Caleb Holloway. So him and I have worked together, I think, shortly after I started there. Well, started there for the nutrition side. And in working together, he had been working out there for a while, but his nutrition was just crazy. And you can put in all the work at the gym, but if your nutrition's not on point, it's just, you're going to stay the same.
Right.
And so in the first 6 months that we were working together, he lost about 6.5 pounds each month. So he lost 40 pounds,
Wow.
40 plus pounds, and then he just continued.
That's
And
awesome.
so he got to about, I think, like the low 200s, and he was really happy about that. So we've been staying there right now and just kind of seeing where he wants to go. I think he got down to 11 or 12% body fat.
Nice.
Which was fantastic.
Yeah.
He got out of a depressive state. He became more confident in the gym. You would see a guy that would like not really talk to a whole bunch of people, just keep to himself. And then now he's like takes his shirt off and he's like chatting it up with everybody. And it's just really cool to be a part of that and just to see him just be happy.
Yeah. No, that's the perfect success story, is not only when they physically feel better, but when, mentally they're more confident. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. When it comes to nutrition, do you have a certification for that, or is that just kind of more habit coaching? How does that kind of work?
More habit coaching. I've learned a lot I used to be a Legionnaire for First Form, and with them, they do a lot of trainings, a lot of trainings.
Nice.
And so when I was with them, I soaked in a lot of that, took a lot of notes, and just learned all I could.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. What would you say is your favorite part about being a coach?
Ooh, I think it's just being a small part of the journey and just being able to witness their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's well said. And you say small part, but I think we probably play a bigger role than we think. But we like to think it's a small part, but I think, somebody like Caleb might tell you you're probably a pretty big part.
Yeah, well, and I agree with that to an extent. I think that we give them the tools.
Yeah,
but the
sure.
even bigger part is like using them.
Right. Yeah. What about the hardest part about being coach? What would you say?
Well, I don't have hardly any empathy. So
Okay.
I've worked on it a lot. John has given me a lot of tips. So yeah, I'm always trying to be better at being more empathetic, especially being on the nutrition side.
Yeah.
I think I need a lot of that, and doing like counseling sessions and stuff with just people that are like, I don't know what I want to do right now. And so I've learned a lot and I've adapted well, but I think there's still a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
I'm sure. Yeah.
it's not something I'm natural at
No,
all.
I'm sure when you're an Air Force veteran, like you haven't always had things easy in your life. So I feel like maybe having empathy might be tough when you're used to Nate gritting everything out.
Yeah, I'm very like, "Okay, this is how it's gonna be, this is how it is, da, da, da," like, very straightforward person, and
Yeah.
so for me, it's very different.
No, fair enough. Do you or have you ever struggled with burnout as a coach?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
What what tips do you have for coaches that are kind of fighting that burnout?
Communication. So just communication is key. Like, and also just from a boss standpoint or manager standpoint, right? Is just being aware of it in others and like seeing the signs of burnout, like like irritation and all of that, like people being angry that aren't usually angry or, like short tempered and stressed out, like running late, things
Yeah.
like that, just being aware of that. But also, like, the minute you realize it is like communicating it and then making sure that your cup is filled
Yeah.
because you can't pour from an empty cup.
No, that's really good advice. What about like imposter syndrome? Do you ever struggle with that as a coach or in your current role?
Have you seen my coworkers?
Oh,
They're total
yeah, that's
studs.
okay. Fair enough. Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I joke about it because, like, with our High Rocks training, we'll sit down sometimes during our staff meetings and see, okay, like, how did this go? How can we improve it for next week? Blah, blah, blah. And I'll have to say, like, okay, us average people over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're total studs. So yes, I battle that a lot, and it's definitely a battle,
Yeah.
but it's also having that grace.
Yeah. No, that's cool. No, yeah, that's well said. And I think it's also got to be tough when I think CrossFit, like you guys, you have people that actually compete in CrossFit competitively at your gym. And like, I'd be like, those are like the most in shape people in the world. And so like having to coach those people, that might be a little intimidating. I don't know.
It is, especially even when I came on as a CrossFit coach, that's really difficult to coach a movement that you can't do.
Yeah. Oh, fair
Like
enough.
muscle ups and
Yeah.
stuff, and we've had multiple coaches come in that are like that,
Yeah.
like a lot of our part-timers are like that, and it's just you don't have to you don't have to know how to do it to coach it, it's
Mm,
just showing them how to coach it and showing
yeah.
them how to cue and correct.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, that's really well said. Cause like, yeah, myself, I can't do a muscle up. So that would
Yeah,
be,
me either.
yeah, no, those are hard. Yeah. So we'll talk about the business side a little bit because it seems like now you're more doing the business side rather than coaching. So like what would you say like Level WOD's hiring process looks like currently? You talked about 50 hours, like what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, anyone that's interested in coaching, we always tell them just to start out as interns. Not only does it give you just a lot of learning ability and just it shows you if this is something you really want to do. Because we've had people that have done the intern process and they'll drop out at like 15 hours,
Yeah.
20 hours, 25, because I mean, it looks so different from the outside perspective.
Absolutely.
And so it gives us a chance too to see who really wants to do it.
Yeah. And it starts off unpaid, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All 50 hours unpaid. And then we go from there and they have a conversation with John and see, okay, is this something that we want? Is this something you want? How can we make this work?
Yeah. No, I think that is a good way to do it, because I've had interns, but I've also done internships myself when I started out. And I mean, working for free, like you find out how much of a passion do you really have,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's what you got to have a passion to be in this industry to stay in it long term. Yeah. Like just curious, do you know how many interns have made it versus haven't made it?
I think it's about 3 out of 4 have made it.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty
Yeah. I
good.
think that's about our odds.
Nice.
Yeah. We only have a couple that are just like, this is not for me.
Yeah. And do you have to at least interview for that internship process, or will you guys pretty much take just about anybody?
I think it depends.
Okay.
It depends on the space. Like right now, John doesn't have a whole lot of space to be able to help those interns.
Yeah.
So it'd either be like me or him trying to figure out our schedule. So really, it's just kind of off of our busy season.
Yeah. And those interns, they get to kind of like coach their own classes, or do they have to shadow? How do those 50 hours work?
So there's a certain amount of them where they just strictly shadow the entire class. And then there's a portion where they'll do the brief, like the warm-up brief.
Okay.
And then there's a portion where they'll lead the warm-up.
Nice.
And then it just
Yeah,
progresses to where
that's
they
the way to
coach
do
the
it.
entire class. And
Yeah.
I think the last 10 to 5 classes, they're coaching the entire class on their own,
Yeah.
and we're watching them and correcting them and pulling them back after and saying like,
Yeah.
okay, this was good. This we can work on next time.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to do it is you're not just throwing them into the fire immediately. They just take small steps and then by the end of it, they can feel more confident coaching a class by themselves. But what tips would you have for new coaches? Like how can you stand out? Because I feel like you obviously stood out and that's how you've progressed up the ladder. So like what tips would you give to maybe an intern starting out?
The thing that made me stand out the most, I feel like, is you have to just go for it. Like when I was starting that coaching development course and John was sick, like he could not even, he was driving to the gym and he's like, I'm not going to make it. Like, can you just like pull the warm up for them and let them go? And I was like, no, I'll lead the class. And I had hadn't done it in a while, but it's just more of those opportunities, just like taking the initiative, but also being comfortable that you'll find your groove. Because everybody's different. Everybody has their own flow of how they lead class. Like I'm a little bit more sarcastic than like Jenna is. And so everybody just has their own groove.
Yeah, no, well said. So what does like the sales process look like? Because I guess you talked about it a little bit, but it seems like you guys have a very strategic sales process when you get a lead in. Like what does that kind of look like?
So if a lead comes in, currently John will contact them. He tries to contact them like immediately and then gets them on the phone. And then from the phone, they set up a no sweat intro. It's called a no sweat intro so that they aren't coming in to work out. It's literally just they come into the gym and chat about who we are, what we do. Now, when they're in the gym, we give them a tour. We explain the level method program, show them the map. And then when we sit them down, we really just get to know them. And then we kind of go from there and see, like, is this really going to be a good fit for them?
Nice. Would you say most people, it is a good fit? Or do you feel like, I mean, have there been times where you had to refer people out?
There have been times where we've had to refer people out. Most of the time, they are a good fit. But, I mean, there's been times where I've reached out to you and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that we're not going to, like really try and force somebody there that shouldn't.
No, that's awesome. That's good. That's good. What sales tips do you have for coaches? Because I feel like as a coach, and especially if you go independent, like it is a lot of sales. So is there any advice you could give to coaches about sales?
Pain points. Find their pain points and like let them do the majority of the talking first and just really get to know them and care about them. And then also one of the big things is think about, like, if they're sitting across from you, think about that being a family member and how bad you want that for your family member.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's really good advice because I think sometimes the way I kind of think about it too is like, if I can't help that person, like I believe in so much in what I do that like I feel like I really need to help that person. And a lot of times, you brought up pain points. A lot of them can get emotional, stuff like that. So
yeah.
No, that's well said. We'll talk about retention. So you guys have had, do you know what your longest like standing members have been at Level WOD?
So we're having our 6-year anniversary next Saturday. So 6 years.
6 years. And you guys still have a good chunk of those people.
Yeah, we do.
So, I mean, what advice do you like? What do you think has made them stay 6 years?
Man, I mean, a good portion of them, well, I mean, all of them followed John over.
Yeah.
And you have to think about, like, shortly after he opened, we went through COVID.
That's right.
And
yes.
so that's an even, like, bigger test. And so, I mean, everybody stayed. He didn't have anybody leave through that. He was really, really smart in, like, renting out equipment.
Yes.
And that was huge.
Yeah.
But man, it's just our people, like our community.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm biased, of course, but I think we have the best community. Like,
you guys do, you guys really,
our members are so willing to help each other out and they just want the best for each other.
No, I think something really cool that I saw you guys do is that good luck fist pump at the beginning of class. Yeah.
I love when we're out somewhere, like when we did the mud run and then we all good luck fist pump
that's really
before
cool.
the mud run.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome. So kind of going to, I call this next section hot takes. Do you agree with the statement that 90% of trainers will quit in their first year?
Yes, 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 yes. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. But do you feel like the statistic is that high at your guys' gym, or do you think they have a better percentage of staying long term?
No, I think they have a better, I mean, we have really good retention. I think they have
Yeah.
a better percentage of staying long term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that probably helps a lot because I think that's the problem is a lot of gyms in town is just not sustainable long term to coach 30, 40 hours a week or
Yeah.
unrealistic expectations, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean, the schedule itself is very, very hard, very hard,
oh
especially if you have a family. Like, that's a
yes,
whole different level.
yeah, no, that's really cool, and that's cool that you were able to kind of talk to John about that because that was something I think I've talked with. I had a mom trainer that was on my podcast, and it's like they actually say that like most successful trainers are single or don't have kids, and so it's
Yeah.
like your whole world flips upside down once you have a kid. So that's cool that you're kind of in a sustainable place to do that.
Yeah.
Do you view other gyms or trainers as competition? Why or why not?
No, I think that we're all in it for the same goal and outcome. Like, we all want to see people get healthier, especially like with Wichita. I mean, we're all pretty close, I feel like.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
especially with the coaching development group,
Yeah,
that brought us closer together as far as like I had never met a couple people from Forge and I
yeah,
did that there. And so I don't hesitate about reaching out
yeah,
and seeing where we can help each other out.
yeah. No, very well said. Do you feel like Wichita is oversaturated with gyms?
No, because I think we all have kind of our own little niche.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. So you talked about like you guys do those quarterly gym visits to where you'll go to different gyms and act as a client. Has there been anything or what is has there been any favorite gyms you have visited?
We we really liked Hot Asana.
Okay, the yoga place. Yeah,
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 yeah, that
that's
was
cool.
killer.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that was killer. So, we haven't done too many of them. I know we've done that metabolic. I think we did body bar. We did a Pilates one, but
Okay,
can't remember if it was body bar or another one because we had, like, gone back and forth.
nice.
We what else did we do? I feel like we did one more, but Hot Asana, I feel like was my favorite. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
I enjoyed like, it almost reminded me of being in Africa with, like, the heat
yeah.
because we worked out outside in Africa,
Oh
and
yeah,
so that kinda took me back, and just the slow flow was nice.
nice, nice.
But we definitely sit down and at breakfast and go through all the stuff that, like, we thought was beneficial, and so I know we all had really positive things to say after
That's awesome.
that.
Yeah, like is there anything in particular you guys can think of that like you've learned from another gym that maybe you guys have implemented at Level WOD?
Yeah, so shortly after John and I got comfortable and like having me in for a year, and we're like, okay, we are thinking about bringing another coach in. Now that brings in like, okay, there's more than one coach on the floor. We have to figure out how do we keep the level of coaching the same. And so it's okay, we need to do coaching evaluations.
Yeah,
And so coaching evals, we do once a month. We do them at the end of the month. And it used to be I would run all of them. And now John, since he's completely off the floor, he runs all of them. And so he'll just follow us around the
nice.
entire class with a
Yeah,
clipboard.
that's probably really good as a coach to develop, but it's also got to be really nerve wracking, I imagine.
Yeah, it's one of those like, man, I am like fumbling all over my words. And I don't
Yeah,
think I would do that if you were here.
yeah,
But we've also done it to where we've videoed ourselves and just to see like your facial expressions when you're
yeah,
coaching and the times when you feel like you're on and you're not.
yeah. No, that's awesome that you guys do that because I know there's probably a lot of gyms don't do that these days,
Yeah.
and it probably does expose you a little bit, but I guess that's how you get better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not the most comfortable thing,
Yeah,
but if you're wanting to better yourself as a coach, it has to be done.
yeah, absolutely. We'll start to wrap it up a little bit. Like, do you have any hobbies outside of work?
Yeah. So I garden and I love my plants.
Nice.
My husband makes fun of me all the time for it, but he is a contributor because he built me this huge, like, ceiling to floor plant shelf, and it's amazing. But so I garden outside as well. We have a whole bunch of tomatoes and stuff going, and then we camp all the time. Like,
Oh, nice.
anytime that we can, we go.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
What about like personal workouts? Would you work out at Level WOD? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. How many days a week do you work out?
I try to go about 4 to 5,
Nice.
depending on scheduling and just also how my body's feeling.
Yeah, and that is kind of the norm, right? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's kind of off,
Yeah.
then Thursday, Friday, then Saturday as well.
Yeah. And so I've been more on like the 4 because our high rocks classes are, I mean,
Brutal.
that's
Yeah,
it's an hour. Yeah.
I need to come down one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've heard that it's like really hard, but it looks really cool though too.
It's difficult, but I love it. Like, and we've heard that from so many of our members because, I mean, an hour-long workout just seems grueling, but you're constantly moving and doing different things. And then a good portion of them are partners.
Okay.
And so it's that work to rest and then cheering people on and just being in the space and doing,
Nice.
I mean, pushing sleds,
Oh, yeah.
farmers carries, like that
Yeah.
stuff's just so fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any future goals for yourself in the fitness industry?
In the fitness industry. So eventually, my husband and I would love to move to Montana. And in that, I want to have my own business.
There you go.
And so I have my own business on that side right
Yeah.
now, but I want that to grow and flourish and be something that I can do like out of my garage or out of the house.
Nice. Yeah, that's really cool. I think that's a great way to do it because you have a pretty low overhead.
Yeah. And when we have a family, it'll give me the chance to be home more.
Yeah, absolutely. What about Level WOD? Like any future goals for Level WOD right now?
Ooh, I don't know how much John wants
Yeah,
me
that's
to
okay.
say.
Say what you can. Say what you can.
I can say that we are planning on doing a mock rocks. So a mock high rocks competition.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah. That is going to be sometime in October. And so it's going to be made open to the public. And we're currently trying to figure out kind of the ins and outs for that.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Where can we find out more about Level WOD?
So our website, or you can Google us. Our phone line is 869-2195, I believe.
It's okay. There you go.
I never call us.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today. Thank you for coming down again. It's really cool to see how you've grown as a coach and how Level WOD has grown, and appreciate all you do for the community. And yeah, thanks for coming down today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.